Hi crystal balls, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for clicking on this video today. If this is your first time here, welcome. Please think about sticking around, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. For everybody else, thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I really appreciate it. So today we're going to talk about Burke. Yes, that Burke Ramsey, and see exactly what he knew. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look at what he knew. I never thought about doing this until just now. So just looking at these three cards really quickly, I think Burke knew a lot more than what he stated that he knew, which basically was nothing. I think he was told to keep his mouth shut. I think he was offered something and like bribed in order to keep his mouth shut. So I still operate under the fact that I don't think he did it. We'll look in here and see if he did, but I don't think he did. But I do think he was bribed. Like right here, like keep your mouth shut. And he didn't want people judging him. He didn't want people to, judge him for his sister, judge him for what's going on here. But, yeah, looking at this, it makes me feel like there was a bribe. He was screwed no matter what, unfortunately. He was going to be a suspect. He was going to be always kind of the person that was in the background where people thought that he did it. Always, because he was a lone wolf. He was somebody very different. He wasn't his sister. And that's something that he wants everybody to know now, even now, that he was not his sister. And his sister and him were two different people. But he loved her very much. It's just they weren't the same person. And he deserved the same attention, if not just, yes, the same amount of attention as a sister. His first reaction was smug. So maybe this is some of the reason why people think he's guilty, is because he really didn't have feelings towards what happened to JonBenet. Now, I'm going with the fact that he's a child and at this point, and he probably was in shock and probably was scared and wondering what was going to happen to him. So he was very indifferent to the news of his sister, and that's something that I feel like traveled with him throughout his life. So any interviews, including those famous interviews that we've seen on television that were part of an interrogation, he was very indifferent to it because he felt like he had to be right away. I think this was the way that he coped, was indifference. I don't think he understood what that was going to do to him and make him a suspect. He craved the attention, though. He really did crave the attention. So some of this he did on purpose. Some of this action, some of this way that he did on purpose. He really, truly wasn't getting the attention that he needed or deserved at home. And now he was going to act out. And I think he did act out quite a bit after JonBenet died. I think he did a lot of just shit to get attention. And still didn't get the attention that he deserved. It was all negative stuff. So blamed his sister for that. Um, Oddly enough, he's a very religious person. He really, really looks to God when it comes to things, and he prays, and it just seems weird to me, given everything that's gone on in his life, losing his mother, losing his sister in such a violent way, but he's actually a very religious person. So is John Bennett Ramsey, um, but in a different way. Like, this is actually something that comforts him and something that brings him joy. And so he believed that Jean Benet went to heaven, which is another way that helped him cope. Yeah, he believed that she went to a better place and she was taken care of and she was happy. And so why should he be so sad and act so sad and act in a certain way if he knew his sister was okay and was in heaven? So again, when a tragedy strikes, usually a person stops maturing at that point. And he was 8 years old. So he stayed in that maturing rate of 8 years old for a very long time. 8 years old or 6 years old. Yeah, he was 8, I think. Either way, very young child. And that's where he stayed at in maturity wise. Like, that was a big event. And he never really matured past a lot of his 8-year-old self because of the tragedy that happened to his sister. Yeah, just he really escapes. He escapes a lot. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he had some sort of disorder, some sort of like borderline personality disorder, or even honestly DID, dissociative identity disorder. It really wouldn't surprise me, because of everything that he went through. I do think he went through some childhood abuse. I do think he had a lot of things happen to him in his short little life before his sister even died. So, do I think I'm going to ask, did he know about this death prior? Yep, he did. He sure did. He felt like he betrayed her by keeping his mouth shut, but he kind of had to. It was him or her or both. So, do I think there was a kidnapping situation? No, I don't. I don't think there was a kidnapping situation. I think the kidnap situation was completely out of left field. And if there wasn't a letter, then there just would have been a homicide. And, God knows what would have happened to the situation at that point. But I do think he knew she was going to die. And maybe not the day, but he also thought he was going to die too. So just kind of keep that in mind. This child really was fractured. Really, really fractured. I still talk about him like he's a child, and that's not fair. But his mind very much is there as a child. He can still encapsulate that part of his life very easy. This is all about money. It was all about money. And, the oldest thing in the book is, jealousy, love, and money. And money is definitely something that happened here. That's why she got taken out, was money. And, the Bennett's family, Ramsey family. Sorry, I don't know why I always do that. Benet. The Ramsey family definitely benefited from this. But it was probably more than money. He probably just saw the money side, but a lot more to that because, John's not the best person on earth. He really checked out at her funeral. He really wasn't there mentally. Um, that's odd. It was so odd to have here. Communication from a lover. What is that? Why is that here? Why is that here? Why is that here? Because of family. Okay. Shame. Destruction. I think the rumors of things going on in the family was very true. But I am leaning towards John and not Patsy. Wow. It's like this family was going to implode anyway. And if Jean-Benet hadn't been the catalyst, there would have been something else that made this family implode. But it would have been a lot different. It would have been accusations. It would have been something like that. So maybe Jean-Benet died to keep silent, but stuff with Burke was definitely happening. And he checked out when that happened. Like, he went to another place. He went bye-bye. I feel like he does have some sort of dissociative identity disorder, because the abuse was repeated at a young age and he couldn't do anything about it. And I really think he kind of jumped out of his mind when this was happening. He slipped out. Wow. He really had feelings of grandeur. He really was heartbroken about losing his sister. But you see here, his parents and his sister broke his heart too. So he was a very heartbroken person, very much, sad. Very sad. Now remember, this is all allegedly, supposedly for entertainment purposes only. But I just feel a lot of sadness. So once and for all, did Burke kill his sister? I don't think he did. No, he didn't. It's the female presence. So, and that doesn't mean it's a woman. He would stick up for his sister. He would not kill her. His sister and him shared a lot of things, and even though it made him extremely angry and he did some things in the past, it doesn't mean that he was a murderer. I feel like he had a guardian angel around him that made sure he didn't do anything wrong. Was this a cover-up for Burke? It definitely was an in-home situation, but I don't think it was a cover-up for Burke. I think this, again, this looks like to me this was something that was planned out, and it went horribly wrong. It happened in the home. Everything happened in the home, and people were aware of it. So I stick behind my story that I told earlier with Patsy and him, where they were hiding because they had to. Like this was going to happen one way or another, and he didn't have a choice in the matter. So, no, I don't think Burke did it. I think this was all a conspiracy of something much, much deeper, and something to do with John, but I don't think it had to do with Burke. So, I don't know if you guys want to agree with me or not, but please leave comments down in the comment section. Please be kind. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to each other. Be kind to me. Otherwise, you guys have a great day or night wherever you are in this world. Remember, every single day is a gift. Use your time wisely, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.